Hello, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. So, before I get into today's topic is what is something that we all could be better at that is going to help us spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically all at the same time when we include this better in our routine. I'll get into that here in a sec. But before I do, I invite you to check out the link in the comments below to my book called You Are Made to Heal Spiritually, Emotionally, Mentally, and Physically. It just shares my journey of where I was stuck for 30 plus years in anger, resentment, childhood trauma. I was the victim for 30 plus years, and I just thought that was my lot in life, and I had a very negative outlook on life, and I wasn't in a good place. And I hit rock bottom in the fall of 2015. And I literally learned how to surrender my will to God's. And I feel like I have been blessed to be introduced to tools and techniques that have truly changed my life. And so when I wrote this book, I really had all teens and adults in mind, as because those were all the years that I had struggled. And I'm just letting you know that healing is possible for all those who seek it. So share it with others, no matter where you find yourself in your mind frame. There's something for everyone to learn. And even though I feel like I am in a great spot with my set of thinking, it's just great reminders in there to help me to continue on, because it's impossible to do everything every day, right? So this is, let's see, I'm on break at work, and so you're going to see traffic driving by. Sorry about that. So this is what I wanted to talk about, is something that we could all be better at. And that, what is something that everybody can be better at? And maybe it's not on a daily basis, but guarantee you there are days where you are not getting enough. And that is water. Water is so important. A lot of people, and I was there for a lot of years, well, water's boring to drink. Water doesn't taste. It doesn't taste good. It's not refreshing. Well, if we are having those kinds of thoughts, then we are taking in way too many chemicals into our system, and we are not appreciating the refreshing goodness of water. Water is so good for our bodies, and that's all I drink. I drink water, and that is it. I'll have I have herbal teas every once in a while. If I have to take a really pungent, yucky medicine, I'll hide it in a little bit of almond milk. But other than that, I just drink water and then my smoothies, of course. So there are days where I'm not getting enough water. And water affects us on all levels, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Water affects us on all those levels. Because water, spiritually, how does it affect us spiritually? Well, it's energy. It's energy. It's made of energy. It's natural. It comes from the earth. It's just one of those things that we absolutely need. We are energy. Water is energy. And it is the purest thing that we could put into our body to help us spiritually. It does. It helps us. And how does water help us emotionally? Well, let's see. If we do not have water, we are lacking. Oh, here's another thought though. Back to the spiritual. So I want to mention fasting, because once a month I fast with other people of my faith, and I know I'm not the only we're not the only ones in the world that fast. There's people worldwide, many different faiths, that choose to fast. So the type of fasting that I do once a month is called dry fasting. I don't have water or food. And going without water for the one day and food can connect us to heaven, connects us heavenward, and we draw closer because we are taking those things that we need to have to survive and live, right? But we're just taking that away for a 24-hour period, and we are able to draw closer to God, and it's a beautiful gift. A lot of the times growing up, I was forced to fast this dry fast, and it was literally going hungry because I didn't understand the concept of giving the stuff that I wanted personally up so that I can put my heaven or my thoughts heavenward and more aligned with God's teachings. And anyway, so going without water can bless us spiritually for short little periods, right? But I did want to mention that water is energy, and we are energy, and spirit, our spirit is energy, and we've got to have water to survive, right? So emotionally, when we don't have enough water, we're going to get irritable. We're going to get cranky and act agitated. And anytime you have kids or you feel like you're agitated or cranky, just have a glass of water. Just doing that little trick will help you. Mentally, again, if we are lacking water, we can't think clearly. It affects us mentally. Our brain, if it drops 2%, our brain is mostly made of water, right? Our whole body is mostly water. And if our water intake drops 10%, or 2% just in our brain, it affects the way we think, and we can't think clearly. So if you're having brain fog, you can't keep things straight. How much water are you drinking? Are you paying attention to that? Physically, we have got to have that water, right? Not enough water is going to give us constipation. Not enough water is going to give us headaches. Not having enough water is going to give us dry skin, dry lips. They say if you have dry lips, you notice your lips being dry, that is your body definitely saying, I've been dehydrated for quite some time. It's time to hydrate me. So water is so important that we can all be better at, and it really helps us spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So uptake your water. How do you know if you're drinking enough water? There was one time where I was like, oh my gosh, I got to drink my 100 ounces. And I found out last year, as I was doing research and learning, or 2 years ago, that I was drinking way too much water for my body size. So not everybody needs 100 ounces of water. And actually, some people might need a little bit more than 100 ounces of water. So how much water should you be intaking? Well, you take your body weight and you divide it by 2. You divide it in half, and that's how many ounces you need in water. So whatever you weigh, divide that in half and take that number, and that is the number of ounces you need in water. So try to just be mindful of drinking more water, and you will definitely feel a difference. You'll feel more energy. And it might take a couple weeks, right, to get in the routine of just making sure you're getting enough water. I just know a ton of people are walking around not hydrated, and it's affecting all of us when we choose not to drink the amount of water we need each day. It's going to affect us spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So make sure you get that water. Okay, God bless. Please like and subscribe to this channel, share it with others, and until next time, I'll be talking with you later. Bye.